Hello friends, this is Jasu Hatsu, and welcome back to Let's Play Azure Dreams. We just finished our very first tower run and made it back successfully, alive with a whole bunch of great items. So very exciting times going on right here, and yeah, it's the second save slot. That is not the first time I have struggled over that phrase before. Second save slot. That's like a straight up tongue twister right there. Second save slot. Okay, maybe it's not that difficult. But anyways, so yeah, this is actually pretty cool. We actually got a decent haul here. And yeah, I didn't even get a chance to look over all the stuff that we got last time. So okay, we've got so the sword and the shield, I think I'll actually... So yeah, we'll probably be selling like the large majority of this stuff. There's no point in keeping all of these spell balls, but yeah, we might as well access the safe to keep all the stuff that we know that we'll be wanting to stow away. So okay, what do we want to put in the safe? Well... the steel sword is not really much of a keeper. In fact, I'll probably take that in with me for my next tower run. The troll sword is basically useless unless you have a troll familiar, but it's worth a lot of money at the shop. Diamond shield, that's a keeper, so I don't want to risk losing that on just a random failed tower run. So I'm gonna, keep that in the safe. And then hopefully we'll be able to get some blue sand in there as well to start building that up. The iron shield, I believe, it's not worth keeping. I'll just carry it in with me to the next tower run, get a bit more of an accelerated start. Spell balls are all just a bunch of money for those. The wind crystal, now that's an interesting proposition. I could take it into the tower with me just to ensure that I have it available and to just make absolutely sure that I won't end up wind crystal-less. But wind crystals are fairly common, and with as much, like with the equipment I have and the level I have on my familiar, it's almost a guarantee that I'm going to be able to find one anyways, and I like stocking up on the wind crystals in the vault, just because it lets me sort of, just to have a nice supply in the vault so I can use them just for random maintenance runs, essentially. So okay, we've got our sands here, for example. So say I have like 4 sands that I want to apply to a sword, then what I can do is if I have an extra wind crystal in the vault, I can just... Because yeah, you can't apply sands unless you're in the tower. So yeah, with the extra wind crystal, what I can do is I can just walk into the tower with, say, like a shield and a bunch of sands that I want to apply, and then I just put all the sand... power up my shield with all the sands, and then just port right back to town and put the shield back in the vault, so I'm at no risk of losing it. So that's my long-winded reason for saying... Oh yeah, and the white sand. So the white sand powers up your spell balls. I actually like to stockpile those as well. There is a particular spell ball, I believe it's the Acid Rain Ball, is basically the best spell in the game, essentially, is the Acid Rain. It always comes with only 1 charge, so anytime you find an Acid Rain Ball, it always has just 1 charge. Anytime you find a Acid Rain Ball lying around, you will never get more than 1 charge on it. But you can increase that number with white sands. So that's actually another thing I like to build up as well, is if I can find an Acid Rain Ball, I like to collect that and a bunch of white sand, and then I can power that up and get a bunch of Acid Rain charges. And yeah, that's just a great spell. Acid Rain is a good spell that just kills all of the enemies in the room, essentially, straight up, or kills all the enemies in an AoE around you, I think, if you're in a corridor. Water is just sellable. Now this is interesting. Yeah, water crystal, I think it just sells for a fair bit of money. So the Palunpa is that's just I'm gonna sell that. It's a worthless monster. Then on the other hand, we've got the Minova and the Kraken, which are both water-type monsters. Now I definitely want to keep one of them as a pet. Because yeah, they're both just really... Basically for the sake of diversity. I've got a fire monster already, and having a water monster will be really useful to just sort of get that elemental diversity and let me deal with more different types of monsters a bit more easily. Or basically, yeah, it lets me take care of fire monsters a lot easier, which will be really good for a lot of those 10th floor jerks that I was complaining about earlier, the volcanoes and the griffins. Yeah, the question is, which one do I use? I really don't know which is better. I could just try out both of them. And yeah, there's a good reason to do that for the purposes of monster fusion. I'll delay that decision for the time being and just say that there's nothing more for now. So okay, finally after that long bit of inventory management, and yeah, it's kind of cute here. You can see we've got our little safe right there. Isn't it adorable? So yeah, we'll be getting bigger safes as the house expands throughout the game. But and yeah, here is our monster hut. Only 4 spaces for monsters right now, so if we want more than 4, we're going to need to purchase a hut expansion from the Builder's Hall. Like I said, I'm not sure if I want to keep which of these eggs I want to keep just yet, so I will hold on to the eggs for now. And, your little sister Weedy has a fairly useful book here for us, so yeah. If we just have a look inside that cute book, it of course shows us all of the monsters we've encountered so far. Or I think it's all the monsters you've killed, which is mainly just a little bit of flavor for all of the monsters, essentially. It gives a little, basically the same kind of, little write-ups you'd see in your Pokédex, essentially. Yeah, so your little sister holds the Pokédex for this game. Which is, not really any useful, like, stats or anything like that in there, but it's just kind of good for keeping track of just what monsters you've seen so far. Also, sometimes they have useful information. Sometimes that gives you a bit of an idea of what the monster is capable of. Most of the time it's just kind of misleading, though, what they say, like that whole thing about Newell. Very friendly, blah, blah, blah. Kind of transforms differently depending on how it is raised. That's just a red herring, just a little bit of flavor text. The Newell, there's nothing unique in that regard as far as how you raise your Newell. It always evolves. Oh, right, that's the other thing I forgot to mention. Certain monsters have evolved forms which don't appear in the tower naturally. The only way and Newell is an example of that. I think Bat Newell is the evolved form of Newell. And yeah, the evolved monsters will never appear in the tower. The only way to see them is to get the basic type, and then once certain monsters reach a high enough level, then they'll evolve into their powered up form. And yeah, Bat Newell is actually one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best monsters in the game. So it would be nice if we could find one of those. But yeah, we have a Minova. Which, you can transform into items. We didn't see that in the tower, but basically they start doing that on one of the... I think it's, once you start seeing them on floors like 17 to 20 or something like that, they'll start disguising themselves as items. Very annoying, but not actually useful as far as like an ability to have on a buddy. On the other hand, the Kraken's little counterattack electricity, like reflect damage thing, would be really awesome. So actually, now that I think of it, that's probably the way to go with that. And I'll talk about Monster Fusion a bit later. Because basically that electric attack. Basically, if I don't want to keep the Kraken, I'll be able to transfer its sort of electrical reflect damage ability to another monster by fusion. So say, for example, if I wanted to keep the Minova, I could fuse it with the Kraken, and then I'd have a Minova with that electrical damage reflection ability. And yeah, a lot of monsters in the game have like just little traits like that that'll carry over during fusion. So yeah, we're just gonna have a little bit of a poke around town here to see what's new. And you know what? Yeah, we've got at least one monster egg to sell. I don't think I'll be selling either of the good eggs, regardless. Because yeah, like I said, whichever monster I keep, either the Minova or the Kraken, I'll be fusing them together anyways. It's just a matter of which one I want to keep. Okay, so yeah, so as you can see, these guys have slightly different things to say now. And yeah, it's basically telling us what we know already, is that trolls in the towers have different weapons. And yeah, basically... Although I've never actually had a troll familiar before, I think it might actually be kind of neat to try out. Just like a troll. Actually, I've never had a ranged familiar either. It might actually be kind of neat to try out a crossbow troll sometime. So yeah, these guys are still kind of only giving us basic information, which is a bit strange, actually. I think that, like, I remember the townspeople, like, kind of freaking out a lot more once you start getting up, like, above floor 15. Anyways, just appropriately enough, I'm just gonna sell my one egg that I know that I'm gonna be selling. Oh, water crystals aren't actually as valuable as I thought. So yeah, Palunpa can get sold here for 400. Oh, okay. It seems that the game values the Kraken higher, so that's, I guess that's another argument in his favor. You know, I'll probably keep the Kraken. Maybe just keep the Manova around as fusion fodder. Okay. Oh, right. This is another building I forgot to mention. So yeah, actually, it makes this building. This is the hospital, which actually makes the general store even more useless. So if you'll recall, the general store sells copper swords and medicinal herbs, and the hospital here sells medicinal herbs also. Except, and yeah, no respect from any of the townspeople still, even though I'm like a tower-clearing badass who's gone up 15 floors higher than anyone in town can do by a long shot, but nevertheless, I'm just still a filthy peasant scrub to the town doctor. Doesn't look that great to me, so yeah, I don't see what's so great about it. But there was a time that he couldn't save a patient. I'm sure that's completely irrelevant and not going to come back in any way whatsoever later on in the game. Okay, so if you buy medicine from this guy, yeah, you can buy medicine from this guy, which I don't need, but yeah, it costs 15 gold here and 20 at the general store, so I don't know what was with that creepy laugh at the end there. It wasn't even a joke or anything, it's just like, I'm a doctor who looks after the well-being of the people. Heh heh heh. Is he like doing human experiments or something? I don't know. Here we've got the fortune teller, who, actually can have some fairly useful information, especially for first-time players. But the problem is, I wish that it was just like a list of like options that you could choose from, but instead you have to go through like this whole... I'll just do it one time here, but basically she just asks you a bunch of questions. So for example... And yeah, basically on the 3 different aspects of the game, basically. So yeah, you've got how to fight, she'll give you tips on how to clear... Basically, yeah, various kind of tips on how to do better at the tower, and just sort of little tips about like how to use items, look out for monster abilities, that kind of sort of basic advice, and also some pretty useful non-obvious stuff as well. How to enjoy life, which I think is typically about just talking about how you can... just the different things you can buy in town, like about, you know, upgrading the various town buildings and buying items for your house and all that, and your love life, which basically gives you tips on how to get the different romance options in the game, basically. But yeah, whichever one you choose, say I want to learn how to fight. Yeah, very clear-minded. Yeah, like I said, we're totally nothing but business right now. Serious monster hunter. No nonsense all the way. But yeah, you gotta answer a bunch of questions first, so... Okay, yeah, I like animals. I wouldn't have been a monster hunter if I didn't. Do I believe I take good care of others? Well, obviously not, since all of my father's monsters have apparently just mysteriously disappeared. Am I better to... do the people of Mons Baia even know what a sport is? I see no evidence that sports even exist in this town. But sure, I'm a lone wolf. I like to go... I went through most of that last tower run. Oh, okay, that was actually fewer questions than normal. Maybe she just stops if you give quote-unquote the wrong answers. No idea how to control my familiars. Apparently. Okay, oh right, I forgot to fix that. Gotta fix the Baku space. I better do that right now before I forget, actually. So that is actually pretty useless. I seem to remember her having better advice for... Yeah, exactly. Where else would you return them to? That is literally the only place they can go back to. Wait, what? Return them within the tower? Bleh? I don't even understand what she's talking about here. Oh, I guess you can release monsters. Like, just get rid of them. But, okay, we'll do one more on the love life. That was a weird one. I seem to remember her having, like, a lot more useful advice as far as, like, combat and, like, item usage and stuff like that. Oh, well. I guess maybe I gave stupid answers, and that's why it gave me a stupid advice. So, okay. Tell me about my love life. Would I like to play outside? In the middle of the desert? No, it's terrible outside. Got the frickin' sun and sand all over the place. Family-oriented person. Sure, okay. I don't even know what else. Yeah, sure, family-oriented. Why not? What would be the point otherwise? Except to, have a family. Like I said, business-oriented. That's not really business, but whatever. Even making something yourself will lead to greater joy. I'm not really about making things so much as like just gutting monsters in the tower and stealing their offspring and enslaving them, so I'm gonna have to say no. Do I think... What? No, I think they're beautiful because they look nice. That is a stupid question. Wait, so do I think they are because... No, I don't think that, so... Am I unable to leave someone alone when they're depressed? I am perfectly capable of staying the frick away from people when they're, bummed out and not fun to be around. Kind of a personal failing, you might argue, but yeah. Don't like being around the depressed people so much. Focus on one thing and one thing only. Sure, like I said, business bakuhatsu on this run. Oh god, and yeah, this is what I was talking about, like a billion questions. It doesn't matter, blah blah blah, happen to others as long as two of you are happy. Sure, fuck everyone else. It's just like total solipsism. Or I guess it's not total solipsism if you care about the other person as well, but it's like a, I don't know, solipsism +1. Oh, and another question, Jesus, just thinking of the person you like. No, I typically need other things to be happy. Just kind of think, oh god, there's even more. Step away from the one you love. Yeah, sure, like when I have to go to the tower and work sometimes. Her aura is much weaker. So yeah, you just kind of get vague advice. I don't even know. I literally don't even know. Okay. I know who she's talking about now. So that's your little hint for how to unlock one of the romantic prospects. Is it's got something to do with the hospital, and so you can, just basically bug the hospital guy, and eventually you'll probably figure out how to progress that little romance subplot with that particular person. And yeah, literally the hospital thing was the only useful thing she had there. That took way longer than I wanted it to. Yeah, so like kind of useful little tips if like you want to figure out how to get the girls, because some of them are actually kind of obtuse. It can be a bit tricky to figure out how to advance some of these romance subplots, and slightly useful tower information, and I don't remember what else, but yeah, you gotta answer like a billion questions. I wish it was just like a list of topics you could choose from, so you know exactly, you can like ask about specific things and she'd just tell you like exactly what you want to know without having to go through the whole billion question rigmarole every time. Oh yeah, and here's Fur, obviously, girl with the portrait, gotta be a romance option. She runs, or I guess, is this the general store? Whatever, the other general store. And yeah, I've totally come to sell. So yeah, basically I always try to sell my stuff. Don't worry about the junk. I got some good stuff here. We got ourselves a troll sword, got ourselves a bunch of, wow, these fireballs. I could have sworn that fire was a better spell than pillar, but I guess I was wrong. I mean, yeah, you guys saw it did like 100 damage to that little picket there. Yeah, recovery totally overrated, worthless spell. And I guess flame is, or I guess it goes fire, flame, pillar. I guess these have fewer charges as well. But even so, at 60 per charge, yeah. Anyways, yeah, water crystal useless. And okay, so yeah, we got a bunch of money now. 8,920. We can actually get some decent construction going on with that. And yeah, we got like, what, 2,000 worth? And of course, she's doing it again as well, where she says to us in brackets, received 8,920 G. It's like, like it's just the way they printed it. It looks like it's part of her dialogue. And yeah, if you actually look at what she has to sell, Oh yeah, because yeah, Jasu is just a poor, dirty peasant who's like not even worth the. Don't get me. This is actually one of my favorite of the characters of the girls that you can kind of, romance in this game. Fur is actually probably my favorite or close to it. She's got just a lot more lively and has a bit more of a sense of humor to her. Sort of a dry sense of humor that I really appreciate, even as poorly written as that sense of humor can be sometimes. But yeah, anyways, she sells basically just various items that you can get for your house. And yeah, you can buy yourself a new bed, or a canopy bed, table, bonsai tree, carpets, tons of different stuff that you can just purchase for your house, and then it'll show up inside your house. Although, yeah, like it says, certain items, yeah, you need to have a bigger house in order to fit them inside. And also, and we've got the Aura bike. Someday, guys, someday we'll get one, but not yet. Oh, wow, we've actually got, 10,000 right now. And these are also various gifts that you can buy for the various girls about town, which are actually utterly pointless. I don't think you get any benefit whatsoever from giving gifts to girls, but that's a thing you can do if you want. And also you can get rid of... I don't know why she, charges you money to return the items that you've bought, but yeah, for 2,000 gold you can... Oh, it throws away all of them. I didn't realize that. So, okay, yeah, you can, I guess, spend 2,000 to trash all of your items. And so, yeah, just looking. And she thanks me because I actually sold something. If you go away without buying or selling anything, then she'll kind of tell you off. And yeah, if you talk to her after you've done all your buying and selling, you actually get, have a little bit of a conversation, which is basically how you progress her whole storyline, is you basically just keep talking to her over and over again. She's one of the easiest girls in the game to get, actually. It's going quite okay. Better than okay, actually. That's good. You know what? I will choose to take that as a compliment. Of course! Yeah, that's another one of those choices where it makes no difference what you say. She just says, of course, no matter what. And yeah, that's another one of her good qualities. She's very agreeable. Just says, of course, no matter what you say. And I think this was the guy who gave us the oil pot subquest. So yeah, he's just going to want us to retrieve the oil pot to fix up the windmills to produce whatever it is. What do you make? Or I guess windmills are for making bread or something, so yeah. Oh, the 15th floor, so we actually walked right by it. I'm actually surprised. Wow, so we've got the first major item on the 12th floor, and then the next one is just 3 floors above that. Oh, we could have easily gotten that too. Ah, that's a shame. And yeah, like he says, it's a floor that few have reached. Yeah, totally go and get it for him. Could have gotten it already if I hadn't been a moron and walked right by it. Mind you, I wouldn't have gotten it if I hadn't... I wouldn't have had a chance to get it if I hadn't been a moron in the first place and kept on going up floors constantly, further than was necessary, and just cheating death all the way up.